It may surprise you to hear this, but if you're seeing this right now, it's no coincidence. The very system that shapes daily routines and beliefs dreads the moment you fully recognize your power. Because once you do, reality itself begins to align in your favor. If you watch for at least 13 minutes, you affirm that you're ready for this transformative awakening. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, and comment 77 to signal your openness to the universe. Then leave another comment, ready for what's next, in your native language. This act sets in motion immediate, tangible benefits and marks the beginning of a new phase of transformation. Chapter 1. You start to see the unseen forces at play. Each day, people follow routines, working unfulfilling jobs, distracting themselves, and accepting life as it is. Yet deep down, you've always sensed that something doesn't quite add up. The world around you often feels scripted, as if people are unknowingly playing roles in a larger game. As a chosen one, you couldn't just accept society's surface-level explanations. A persistent inner voice urged you to seek more. And that voice was right. Beneath the surface lies a hidden structure. Some call it the Matrix, a grand system built on limiting beliefs. It discourages questioning because the moment you begin, you realize that your consciousness influences reality far more than you've been led to believe. You start noticing cracks in the illusion, a coincidence too precise to be random, a synchronicity that defies logic. These moments reveal that the world is not as rigid as it seems. In truth, it's fluid, responding to intention and deep conviction. This hidden system also feeds on your emotional energy, your fears, doubts, and sense of limitation. It's not an overt conspiracy, but a quiet conditioning. When you're unaware of your power to shape reality, you're easier to influence. Challenges seem purely external, keeping your inner strength dormant. You get caught in patterns designed to suppress your potential: envy, complacency, or doubt. That's how it prevents you from awakening to your true authority. Perhaps you felt frustrated by life's obstacles, only to realize that a shift in perspective turns an impossible barrier into a solvable challenge. That realization is your spiritual insight in action, proving that the Matrix's limits are not set in stone. The system, however, banks on you not recognizing this. That's precisely why. The moment you awaken, it feels like fiction intensifies. Obstacles or negative influences might surface, attempting to derail you. The Matrix tests your commitment to seeing beyond illusions, but you're already on the threshold of deeper realization. God never intended you to accept a life shaped by scarcity or fear. Your spirit rebels for a reason. It's programmed with a higher blueprint. The more you trust that calling, the less the Matrix can confine you. Now, it's not about escaping the physical world. Rather, it's about living in it with open eyes. Eyes that see, not as a slave to circumstances, but as a co-creator in a universe designed to respond to awakened faith. The Matrix isn't your final prison. It's the stage you transform once you grasp your true role as a chosen one. Chapter 2. Your old confusion morphs into clear awareness. For so long, you may have felt lost or uncertain, wondering why you seem to walk a path different from everyone else. While others merge seamlessly into the hustle of everyday life, your heart kept questioning. Maybe you tried to find answers in self-help books, gurus, or even fleeting pleasures. But each attempt ended in half-satisfactions, never truly quenching your longing for a bigger truth. Now you sense that all that confusion was paving the way for a dramatic unveiling of clarity. At times, confusion weighed you down like a fog, making it hard to see even simple truths. But in that fog, your intuition sharpened. God was training you to rely on spiritual insight rather than external noise. Each moment you felt the pain of, "This can't be all there is," you were brushing against a deeper awareness. Now that your consciousness is expanding, you can look back and see how each confusing detour refined your discernment, teaching you to trust the subtle voice within. This transformation, from confusion to clear awareness, is the Matrix's worst nightmare. The system thrives on misinformation, feeding you beliefs that success must come via draining sacrifice or that you must remain trapped in cyclical hardships. It conditions you to fear your own instincts, labeling them impractical. Once you see past this manipulation, every script you inherited about your capabilities unravels. You discover your potential isn't limited by your past or by conventional definitions of what's possible. As your vision clears, new pains might surface. You may feel sorrow at how many opportunities you missed or how long you settled for less. But that sorrow is temporary, like mourning the end of an era, purging regrets so you can move forward unburdened. It's also a testament that you're letting go of illusions you once clung to for comfort. A chosen one doesn't remain naive. You learn from mistakes never again to be caged by the same illusions. Consequently, your perspective on problems shifts. What once felt insurmountable shrinks in the light of your newfound clarity. You begin to see solutions forming before obstacles fully register. People around you can't understand how you just know a certain path or method will work. They don't realize you're no longer operating from guesswork, but from deeper resonance, sensing the blueprint behind life's solutions. This deeper resonance acts like a magnet, drawing the precise conditions you need to thrive. No longer shackled by confusion, you step into the next stage with unwavering focus. And that focus, powered by spiritual insight, acts like a lens, burning away superficial hurdles. The clarity that once seemed elusive is now your default, letting you pivot from merely surviving life's chaos to mastering it. Each breath in this new awareness reaffirms that the universe moves in rhythm with your convictions. With that knowledge, your journey transforms from a guessing game into a deliberate dance of co-creation. Chapter 3. You're tapping into reality's hidden controls. The notion that reality bends to your will may sound grandiose, but your experiences validate it. Think about times when you visualized positive outcomes so vividly that events conspired to make it happen. Or remember a crisis you averted at the last second by holding unwavering faith. You used to call these events lucky coincidences. Now you see them as indicators that your intentions interact with the framework of existence itself. Indeed, the Matrix doesn't want you to know this, because the moment you take charge of these hidden controls, you become unstoppable. Observing that your mindset influences outcomes is step one. A random example. You dread a meeting, expecting conflict, and it spirals just as you feared. Another time, you greet a similar challenge with unwavering confidence, and the tension evaporates. This pattern isn't mere positivity versus negativity. It's an energetic transaction with the universe. Chosen ones who carry strong spiritual force intensify this effect. The universe responds quickly to your beliefs and emotional states, but be careful not to reduce this to wishful thinking alone. Intention minus corresponding action leads to minimal impact. When you sense an outcome you desire, you must back it with initiative. Whether that's applying for a job you're not 100% qualified for, but feel aligned with, or reaching out to someone who can open a door. The Matrix tries to discourage such bold steps, whispering that you might fail or look foolish. Yet each time you follow through, you prove the system wrong. Reality shifts accordingly, validating that your vision plus purposeful movement triggers profound results. Over time, you realize you no longer flail about, hoping luck might favor you. You orchestrate your environment more consciously. If you sense negativity looming, you cut off access points. If you want growth, you position yourself among influences that support expansion. At first, it might feel like curating your life, but eventually it becomes second nature. That's the hallmark of living beyond the Matrix's illusions. You stop waiting for random breaks and start co-creating destiny. When you live this way, skeptics might call you naive. They'll point to the cold reality they see, ignoring that their own cynicism perpetuates a narrow outcome. Yet you don't debate them. You demonstrate through results. Each success, each manifestation, becomes evidence that your synergy with God overrides mundane limitations. That quiet demonstration often shifts others, some from doubt to curiosity. In that sense, your mastery of reality's hidden controls has a ripple effect, inviting others to step beyond the illusions that confine them. Ultimately, tapping into these hidden controls means acknowledging your inherent authority in shaping events. The universe isn't your subordinate, but a collaborator, waiting for you to provide clear direction. The Matrix wants you blind to this partnership to keep you in submission, but once you awaken, you can't revert to passively letting life happen. You step up, bold and unafraid, wielding the truth that chosen ones aren't mere pawns of fate. They're co-authors of an unfolding cosmic story. Chapter 4. You stop seeking approval from the matrix. Once you realize the system was never built to celebrate your individuality, you stop begging it for validation. You see that the matrix's version of success, a fancy job title, applause from superficial circles, often leads to soul-numbing routines and spiritual emptiness. Such external badges can't fill the void inside. Up until now, maybe you compromised, hoping your achievements or good behavior might make the matrix smile upon you. But it never did, at least not in a lasting way. That's when you grasp that external applause is fleeting and real fulfillment is an inside job. At first, rejecting the matrix's criteria might cause friction. You might feel that silent voice murmuring, "If I don't play by their rules, will I be abandoned or ridiculed?" Perhaps certain family members or close friends are deeply invested in the system's metrics. Your choice to diverge can unsettle or anger them, but chosen ones realize you can't serve two masters. If God is guiding you to blaze a unique path, you can't chain yourself to shallow standards just to keep the peace. Stepping off the hamster wheel of external approval liberates you in ways you never imagined. You become free to take creative risks, to voice unpopular truths, and to explore passions that defy conventional logic. The irony is that once you stop chasing mainstream acceptance, you often gain a deeper respect from those who see your genuine confidence. People are drawn to authenticity, a spark the matrix tries to homogenize. By being fully yourself, you unconsciously grant others permission to break free too. Of course, not everyone will clap for your independence. Some interpret your disengagement from the matrix as arrogance or rebellion. They might try to lure you back with arguments or emotional manipulation. The key is recognizing that their discomfort is not your responsibility. You don't owe them an explanation for following your calling. If they can't see beyond the matrix's constraints, that's their journey. Your journey transcends it. This break from seeking approval also rebalances your energy. Before, you may have exhausted yourself placating others, overworking to gain a boss's nod, downplaying your spiritual insights to avoid scorn, or dressing a certain way to appear respectable. Now you conserve that energy to invest in your actual life mission. That surge of reclaimed vitality accelerates your creative output, your healing process, and your direct line to God's revelations. With no middleman telling you how to be, you flourish. Ultimately, you realize the matrix's praise was never the pinnacle. It was a hollow echo of a flawed system. Chosen ones anchor themselves in a deeper mission, guided by God's prompts, not by the fleeting applause of a society built on illusions. The more you disentangle from their approval metrics, the more unstoppable your progress becomes, because you're finally living in alignment with the spiritual assignment coded into your soul from the start. Chapter 5. You're undergoing a quantum growth spurt. This awakening sparks rapid changes inside you, like your spirit sprinting ahead of your body. One week, you're grappling with an old habit or limiting belief, and the next, it's as though you've leaped over it. These leaps can feel disorienting, leaving you unsure if you're moving too fast. But realize this: once a chosen one aligns with higher truth, growth can accelerate in a near supernatural way. That's precisely what the Matrix fears. Your evolution outpaces its capacity to keep you subdued. During this phase, you might crave solitude more than before, sensing you need space to process. New revelations might flood your mind in the quiet hours, insights about your future, sudden understandings of old pain, or creative sparks you never tapped into until now. If you attempt to keep busy with social obligations or incessant errands, you risk diluting these messages. So give yourself permission to unplug, to daydream, to pray, to let your soul catch up with the speed of your transformation. Parallel to this, your body can exhibit unusual signals, a random flush of energy, a trembling in your chest, or unexplainable fatigue. It's not always a sign of illness. It's often your vessel adjusting to a higher spiritual frequency. Some days you might feel unstoppable, bounding out of bed, brimming with clarity. Other days, you might feel drained, needing to recalibrate. This wave pattern is natural. Honor it by listening to what your system needs each morning. Maybe journaling in the sunlight, sleeping an extra hour, or taking a mindful walk in nature. As your growth surges, the question arises, am I losing my old self? The short answer is yes. But that's a blessing. You're shedding layers of the person shaped by matrix influences, a version that was perhaps too fearful or too eager to conform. The new you resonates with authenticity. And although it can feel like losing a familiar identity, it's actually reclaiming your truest identity. It might cause tension with those who cling to the old you, but that's part of the journey. True allies adapt and grow alongside you. In the midst of quantum growth, humility is key. Rapid expansion can tempt you to judge those who aren't evolving as fast. Resist that. Everyone's timeline differs, and you were once in their shoes, unaware of what was possible. Instead, let your example speak. Extend grace to those who might resist or mock your changes. Your calmness in the face of misunderstanding demonstrates the essence of spiritual maturity. Remember, each growth spurt is a rung on the ladder, not the final rung. This entire process is continuous. Each breakthrough sets the stage for the next. And as you keep climbing, the matrix grows increasingly uneasy, losing its grip on someone who no longer abides by artificial boundaries. Your quantum leaps are living proof that personal reality can shift in mere moments when aligned with faith and purpose. Let this be your reminder that you haven't peaked. You're in a perpetual state of unveiling deeper layers of your divine potential. Chapter 6. Your impact spreads beyond immediate sight. The matrix tries to isolate you into thinking your awakening is a personal matter, just your own internal journey. But once you realize how fluid reality is under your awakened will, your impact ripples far beyond your personal sphere. You stand in a room and the atmosphere shifts. You speak a word of encouragement and someone's mental chains break. You make a bold career move and it incites your silent observer to do the same. The universe set you in motion not just for your benefit, but to trigger cascades of awakening in others. Even small gestures matter. Perhaps you share an insight on social media that resonates with a stranger halfway across the globe. Or you volunteer at a local charity, and your positivity radiates in ways you'll never fully trace. People sense something unique in your aura, an authenticity they crave. They might not put it into words, but they'll mimic your courage, adapt your optimism, and pivot away from negativity. That's how your awakened presence destabilizes the matrix. You become an embodiment of freedom, silently whispering to others that they too can break from fear. At first, you might not notice how your influence weaves into the tapestry of people's lives. Impact often flourishes in unseen corners. But occasionally glimpses emerge. A friend thanks you for inspiring them to quit a dead-end job, or a random person messages you about how your small statement changed their entire perspective. These stories confirm you're operating on a higher frequency, one that dissolves the illusions the matrix perpetuates. You might worry about shouldering the burden of leadership or the weight of others' expectations, but God doesn't demand you fix everyone's problems. You're simply asked to let your light shine, to live authentically, and to share hope when it aligns naturally. People who resonate with your message will gather. Those who don't, or who remain threatened by your independence, will drift away. The universe makes sure each soul finds a teacher or example they need. This expansive reach also calls for heightened integrity. Now that you're aware your actions influence more than just yourself, you think twice before letting bitterness or pettiness control you. You realize that a passing mood can ripple out. While you're free to be human, you also carry an added responsibility to maintain spiritual alignment, so your ripple effect remains constructive. This doesn't mean you must never slip up. It means you own your journey, swiftly realigning whenever negativity creeps in. By acknowledging your far-reaching impact, you reclaim a sense of deeper purpose. The matrix wants you to feel isolated and powerless, but your awakening reveals that you're part of a vast network of energy, where each decision can shift reality's threads. You're no passive passenger on Earth. You're a catalyst, moving in tandem with divine currents that restore balance and spark revolutions of the heart. Embrace this realization wholeheartedly. Your awakened presence is a vital puzzle piece in a grand design that extends well beyond your immediate line of sight. Chapter 7. You're ready to move in real power? Having grasped that the matrix fears your awakening, your old confusion dissolved, and your reality-bending abilities recognized, it's time to step boldly into the fullness of your power. Yes, that word, power, often carries negative connotations. But for chosen ones, real power isn't about dominance or manipulation. It's about conscious collaboration with God and a universe that responds to awakened intentions. It's harnessing your gifts to uplift, manifest change, and further a spiritual plan that transcends personal ego. You might have hesitated to claim power, worried it could corrupt you or draw in thee, but your journey, marked by trials and sincerity, has shaped you into a steward who respects the weight of influence. You realize that humility and compassion anchor genuine power. With each step, you ask, does this action align with divine truth? Does it serve more than just me? This checks your motives, and because you ask these questions, you remain clear of the traps that snare many who chase power without moral grounding. As you assume this stance, new realms of possibility unfold. Problems that once intimidated you now shrink under your spiritual lens. That big financial hurdle or an emotional wound you couldn't overcome, you address them with unwavering faith, often discovering solutions that border on miraculous. This isn't because you're special in a vain sense. Rather, God invests in you because your heart is aligned with purposeful intentions. The universe extends resources to you as a caretaker of higher agendas. Along with these expansions, fresh responsibilities beckon. People might seek you out for advice, spiritual guidance, or leadership roles. Opportunities to create large-scale impact through projects, platforms, or collective movements begin to surface. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you now approach each invitation with thoughtful discernment. You've come to understand that not every door is meant for you. You seek alignment with your soul's purpose, trusting that God illuminates the path that is truly yours to walk. In this new chapter, expect to outgrow certain connections. Not everyone will be able to keep pace with your rapid evolution or shifting perspective. Some relationships will naturally fade, while others will deepen, drawing you closer to those who share your calling. This is part of stepping into true power, trusting that you will attract and sustain connections that uplift your mission while releasing those that hold you back. It's never easy, but chosen ones understand that clinging to the past can stifle forward momentum. Ultimately, you stand on the threshold of fully activating your awakened gifts, transforming not just your own life, but the world around you. The matrix, unsettled by your fearlessness and ability to reshape reality, may still attempt to distract or derail you, but you stand firm, knowing your destiny is intricately woven into a divine plan. No external force can truly hinder you unless you allow it. And you won't. You've journeyed too far, endured too much, and gained too many insights. Now is the time to embody true power, mindful, compassionate, and unstoppable, crafting a new narrative that affirms what the Matrix tries so desperately to obscure, that you and God together shape the destiny that was always meant to be yours.